So Pesaleli, he's a lot younger, he's a lot lighter, and he's a lot shorter. So a big ask for the young 23-year-old fighter from Smack Gym in Auckland.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our first semi-final fight in the Force 4-man series. This is heavyweights mixed martial arts action. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing black trunks with red trim. He has 7 professional fights with 6 wins, 1 loss, with 6 big wins coming by way of KO. Representing Auckland Mixed Martial Arts, he is the Shuriken Heavyweight Amateur and UCU Amateur Australian Heavyweight Champion. Introducing Cameron Tukua! And his opponent fighting into the red corner enters the ring wearing black trunks with white trim. He has 9 professional fights with 8 wins and 1 loss, with 4 big wins coming by way of KO. Representing Smack Gym in Auckland, he is a New Zealand BJJ gi and no gi champion. Give it up for Sigi, Pesaleli! 3 3-minute rounds. Fighters to the center ring, please, for referee Neil Swell's instructions.
The third man centering, Neil Swells. This is 3 by 3-minute rounds. Remember, very different from the cage. They are in the squared circle.
Welcome to the Force, okay? 3 by 3 under the unified rules. Okay, any questions from you, Mr. Tukua? Any questions from you, sir? Touch gloves if you wish. Going back to your corner.
And as we're about to get underway, Pesaleli coming out of the red corner with the red gloves. The big man, Tukua, out of the blue corner. And Dan, little gloves make it a very different game from the kickboxing match.
Yeah, it's a bit more tentative with the smaller gloves, but these boys look like they're in range and ready to work.
Hands higher, and need to be very confident with your takedown defense as well. To set your feet and throw shots, you need to be confident you can get up if you put down and defend as well. Pesaleli starting working those leg kicks. And there can be a danger early of working the leg kicks too early in the bout, Dan, when you can catch the leg and go for the takedown.
So they're both going for these nice, sharp, flicking leg kicks, as opposed to the stepping in Muay Thai leg kick, the harder leg kick, which can be caught and leave you open for a takedown. So they're just really looking for a range with these kicks here.
Pesaleli looks right on range with his eyes. Good eyes, good countering. Tukua hasn't yet gone for a takedown. 2 minutes to go in this, the first round. Evenly matched so far. Tukua, man in the black shorts from Auckland MMA. Pesaleli, he's getting him buying into his fakes a little. There's that left hook of Tukua. It's a sharp shot when he lands it. So this is double up perhaps on that left hook too.
Yeah, this is definitely the game you don't want to get into with the smaller fighter. He's going to have the speed on you. Cameron should press forward and look to get his hands on him.
You notice he started to land a couple of those heavier leg kicks, Pesaleli. He's got to remember to check, and that one's only partially checked. It's a stone cold face from the smaller fighter, not giving anything away. Just a sparring right hand. And Tukua, a little bit off balance with his punching too. Although that's a nice little inside thigh kick.
Yep, very excited for Cameron Tukua. This is making his professional debut. He is the most decorated amateur mixed martial artist at heavyweight we have in the country. So to see him debut, we're really witnessing a piece of history here.
Well, he went to the Amateur World Champs. He lost his first round, but he did so after breaking his hand. That was an exchange of right hands. Neither man blinked there, both connected with a good shot. Clean pair of whiskers from the pair of them. Good checking from Pesaleli. And I'd like to see Tukua now just look to perhaps set up the takedown off his punches. Now he's established some range. Pesaleli with that overhand right. Tukua just a little short with his longer reach, just not quite finding the mark. Pesaleli, of course, has been kickboxing, so he will be sharp on the outside. Big overhand right there from Pesaleli. Tukua misses with his counter. Pesaleli right on point. Well, I've got to say, hard one to score, but Pesaleli seemed to land the sharper of the two shots. Dan, interesting tactics from Tukua, being such a big man.
Yeah, it was a bit tit for tat, and that's the added pressure of knowing in the back of your head that if you win this one, you do have a second fight, so you need to save some energy for that second matchup as well. So they got in a bit of a tit for tat back and forth there. We really need a big second round from each of these fighters, so let's look for them to turn up the pace here.
And pop, 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 and then out. So let's go guerrilla warfare. Yeah, fake him in. He's really flinching hard.
Feints are beautiful, but you gotta...
Oh, there's some good instructions there from Pesaleli, saying he's flinching hard, meaning he's buying into the fakes. And there, Tukua landed the overhand right, but Pesaleli soaked it up, came back with the left hook counter. And for the most part, he's been able to keep Tukua off balance. I'd like to see what his corner's got to say, because I'm pretty sure they'll want him to put hands on the smaller man.
Yeah, that was great there. Francis calling for guerrilla warfare. So whatever that means, I'm pretty excited for this round here.
Well, let's see if there's a change up in tactics. This is the second round of 3. Pesaleli, the stand-up fighter with a BJJ background. He's the smaller of the two with the red gloves. Tukua, the bigger boy, 110 kilos. More traditionally MMA. That was a nice right hand over the top. There was that left hook we talk about. And he throws it very quickly, but Pesaleli got a clean pair of whiskers. And now Pesaleli just starting to throw with a little bit more intent. Still very surprised that Tukua hasn't gone downstairs. I think Pesaleli would be advised, rather than go guerrilla warfare, just to continue with the pot shotting and using his speed to stay out of range.
Well, this is a tactic I use against bigger fighters. Rather than step back and stand at the end of that bigger fighter's range, the best thing to do is pressure forwards and keep them busy. The bigger guys are not used to fighting at such a high pace. So he's doing a great game plan by staying in his face, keeping active and making him work.
And you see there, he landed the big shot, but he didn't get greedy either. Landed the overhand right, the left uppercut up the middle, and then stepped back, didn't allow the takedown to come, or the clinch to occur. Good work from Pesaleli. Big inside leg kick from Tukua. Pesaleli, though, he's well conditioned. He has taken a few of those inside shots. And there's that left hook from Tukua.
So Tukua's throwing that inside leg kick to set up his left hook. He's getting him to react to that inside leg kick, and he's trying to land that hard left hook on him.
Like to see Pesaleli just drop that hooking right hand to the body. There's a nice left hook right hand, and that's a shot that's working from Tukua. But Pesaleli, he's not intimidated by Tukua, who's reported to be a bigger puncher. But Pesaleli, he's compact, not giving anything away, and I'm starting to see some signs of breathing from Tukua as well. Mouth open. That pace that Dan Hooker talked about looks like it could be starting to tell. Nice combination from Pesaleli, sharp, and again, didn't get greedy.
Beautiful shots. He's landing these hard punches, but he's staying in his face. So he's making him work, making him react to his feints. So even though he's not throwing punches, he's making Cameron react and therefore tense, and he's not able to relax.
Nice timing of that. He read the left hook well. Look for the overhand. Good work from Pesaleli, varying his attack now. Just chunking away at the body as well. And again, slowing down the bigger man. Still surprised we haven't seen a takedown. Nice little draw right hand. I gotta say, Pesaleli is ahead on my cards so far. No grappling, it's all been a stand-up bout so far.
Yeah, I give the advantage to Pesaleli as well with the crisper shots and the good defense on the inside. He's negating Cameron's hard counter punches.
The reason we need that kick going now and then is we need him flinching, pretending that that you're going to kick at him. Then you can do whatever you want when he starts flinching, okay? So just throw a couple. We don't have to be kicking all around. He's already worried that you're going to try and knock him out.
Good advice there from Francis Pesaleli. And we saw Tukua, he tried to pressure more. He did land some good inside leg kicks, but Pesaleli, by and large, was much sharper with his hands, more compact, and his defense just a little bit better, and speed as well. Tukua, a little bit wider, a little less technical. And he's really struggling to pick up a tag on the smaller fighter, Sigi Pesaleli. Well, if you were in Tukua's corner, Dan, what would you be telling him, and what would you be looking for in this third and final?
Yeah, well, he does need a big round. I would be calling him for put some weight on him, so get in the clinch, shoot for a few takedowns, and really make Pesaleli work.
There's that left hook, and you can see there,
yep,
looks like he was trying to reach in for a double.
Yep, he's looking for it. He's changing levels, and he's looking to wrap up a body lock around the smaller guy.
Well, some big bombs being thrown by both boys here. Tukua took the overhand right, but came back with a couple of big shots of his own. Pesaleli not intimidated in the slightest. He's eaten a couple of shots, but shown a granite chin against a much bigger boy, and again, still very patient.
There he is, staying in his face, controlling his hands, working the body. It's beautiful work from Pesaleli.
And again, just landing the two shots, getting back out of range, not being too greedy. Very patient indeed. Tukua, he needs to find something special. 2 minutes to go, and this is just a 3-minute round. So he may be used to 5 minutes, but he doesn't have much time to do his work. Pesaleli loading up on that left hook. Halfway through this third and final round, like Mike Angove here with Dan Hooker. UFC veteran. Well, surprised, Dan. He really hasn't pushed the pace. He hasn't taken a risk, and I think the fight could be slipping away from him.
Yeah, well, Pesaleli's doing a great job of staying in his face. His best defensive option against the bigger man is making him work and activity in the fight. So he really doesn't have a choice but to stay in his face and make him work.
Well, you could see there just the hints of desperation from Tukua. He's not really setting up the takedown either. It was a reach reminiscent of a rocked Ronda Rousey, actually. Just not really trying to set up that takedown, trying to get Pesaleli to react. And which allows Pesaleli to beautiful work with his hands, upstairs, downstairs to the body, just allowing Pesaleli to stay in his preferred striking range. 30 seconds to go. Tukua, he's buying everything right now. Buying the fakes. Pesaleli just a little bit too quick for him.
Yep, Tukua really needs to just let his hand go and see if he can land that big left hook.
Well, there's no use in playing it safe when the fight slipped away from you. Pesaleli has looked better and better as the fight's gone on. And there we go, another round in the bag. I suspect it's going to go Pesaleli's way. A very, very cerebral fight, a very disciplined fight. Dan Hooker from the smaller man against the guy who I have to say was probably the favorite for this format.
Beautiful tactic from Pesaleli, making the bigger man work. He landed some great shots, crisp shots, and then diversified that by going to the body and slowing the bigger man down with his body punching.
As we await the judge's decision, Dan, you're going up in weight to 70 kilos from 66. How are you enjoying having a little bit more sugar on your wheat mix in the morning?
Yeah, it is quite good, but I can't let it slip away too much. Still have a weight cut to go in 9 weeks out from UFC Auckland.
And of course, and Lieutenant Dan is about to give us the decision.
Fighters to the center ring, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for these two heavyweight MMA fighters. That was an awesome fight. Start off our night with. After 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision where we find a split decision winner. Your winner going on to the finals a little bit later on here tonight. Fighting out of the red corner.